Close your eyes and imagine a world 2000 years old. A world where a single empire stretched from the deserts of Africa to the forests of Europe, from the Atlantic shores to the mountains of Asia. This was Rome. Not just a city, not just a kingdom, but a force of nature, a storm across history that seemed unstoppable. The story of how this empire expanded, ruled, and eventually collapsed is not a short tale. It is a journey across centuries, filled with ambition, courage, genius, greed, betrayal, and destiny. And today, for the next 1 hour, we walk through that world. It begins as a tiny settlement on the banks of the Tiber River. Rome was not born mighty, it was born hungry. Surrounded by rival tribes, the Etruscans, the Sabines, the Latins, Rome learnt early that survival meant unity and discipline. They built a republic, a government in which no single man could hold absolute power. Senators debated, consuls commanded, citizens voted. But beneath this democracy burned a fire, a belief that Rome was destined for greatness. The first steps of expansion were small but steady. Rome fought neighbors, absorbed territories, and built alliances through marriages, treaties, and sometimes pure force. But what truly shaped Roman power was their army. The Roman legion was more than a military force, it was an idea. Every soldier trained with iron discipline, carried heavy armor, marched miles each day and fought shoulder to shoulder. They built roads as they moved, turning conquered lands into connected provinces. Where a Roman soldier walked, Roman civilization followed. As Rome grew, ambition grew even faster. By the time the Punic Wars began, Rome stood face to face with a powerful rival, Carthage. Carthage ruled the seas, Rome ruled the land. The clash between them lasted over a century, shaking the ancient world. Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, crossed the Alps with elephants, a feat still unbelievable today. He crushed Roman armies one after another, but Rome refused to fall. The Romans adapted, learned, rebuilt, and fought on. In the end, the city of Carthage was burnt to the ground, its land seized, and Rome emerged as the master of the Mediterranean. With victory came confidence, and with confidence came empire. Rome expanded into Greece, Egypt, Spain, Gaul, and Britain. Each conquest brought wealth, slaves, knowledge, art, and culture. The Romans adopted Greek philosophy, Egyptian science, and Persian administration. Their cities became marvels of engineering, aqueducts carrying water for miles, amphitheaters that echoed with roars of thousands, and roads that still survive today. In every direction, Roman symbols, the eagle, the laurel wreath, the SPQR, announced that the world belonged to Rome. But power attracts ambition, and ambition creates conflict. Within Rome itself, cracks began to form. Wealthy elites controlled the Senate, while soldiers and common citizens felt ignored. Into this tension walked one of history's most famous figures, Julius Caesar. Brilliant, charismatic, and fearless, Caesar conquered Gaul, made himself beloved by his troops and feared by his enemies. When he marched on Rome, he tore apart centuries of political tradition. His assassination on the Ides of March was meant to save the Republic, but instead it doomed it. From the ashes of Caesar arose his heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus. With cunning politics and unmatched patience, Octavian defeated his rivals and declared peace, the Pax Romana. Under him, the empire reached its golden age. Trade flourished, cities prospered, and Roman law brought order to lands that had known centuries of chaos. For nearly 200 years, Rome was the center of the world, a symbol of stability and power. But the seeds of decline had already been planted. The empire had grown too vast, too expensive, too complex. Defending distant borders stretched the legions thin. Emperors came and went, some wise, some foolish, some mad. Corruption crept into the administration. Rival generals fought civil wars. The economy struggled under the weight of heavy taxes, inflation, and inequality. Rome still shone on the surface, but the foundations were shaking. Then came pressures from outside. Germanic tribes, Persians, Goths, Vandals, Huns. These groups pushed at the Roman borders, sometimes raiding, sometimes seeking refuge. Rome struggled to manage them. Instead of integrating newcomers as they once had, later Romans grew suspicious and defensive. And so wave by wave, the borders crumbled. The empire's division into east and west was meant to make governance easier, but it only weakened unity. The Eastern Empire, Byzantium, survived for 1,000 more years, but the Western Roman Empire faced crisis after crisis. Rome itself was sacked more than once. The unthinkable had happened. The eternal city, once conqueror of the world, was now vulnerable. In the year 476 CE, the last Western Roman emperor, a boy named Romulus Augustulus, was quietly deposed. No grand battle, no heroic defense, no glorious end. Just a fading flame. The Western Roman Empire had collapsed not in a moment, but over centuries. It was not destroyed by one enemy, but by many slow forces. Economic strain, political chaos, military exhaustion, social division, and the simple truth that no empire can last forever. But Rome never truly died. Its language, its laws, its architecture, its roads, its religion, its ideas all survived. Modern cities still echo Roman planning. Parliaments still echo Roman debates. Western languages still echo Latin. And nations across the world still dream the way Romans once dreamed, of greatness, power, and glory. So when we ask how the greatest ancient empire expanded, ruled, and eventually collapsed, the answer lies not in one story, but in many. It expanded through discipline, innovation, and ambition. It ruled through law, culture, and engineering. And it collapsed through division, corruption, and the limits of human power. But its spirit, its influence, its legacy, those still live today in every country, every institution, every road, every idea shaped by the world Rome left behind.